Hello! So, I just finished up my first week of this month's monthly medicine from Don Michel's membership, which our theme is blank spaces. Super cool. I'm really excited about this one. So the theme of the first week was the blank slate. So sort of how we can create blank slates for ourselves, or like work with that energy of starting fresh. So I don't know if this has been like used in the past, but it's new to me that I'm really liking, is that Don Michel set it up where we are choosing a deck. To me it seems like an oracle kind of prompt, so that's what I did. But each day we choose a new oracle card, so you kind of have something to do every day of the week that's like really quick, but I don't know, it's really fun. And so we pulled a new card each day to represent a new perspective, intention, or energy to explore. As you pull new cards each day, work to release your attachment to the previous messages so that you can fully engage with this new experience. So cool. It was so cool with like pulling a card to have it be your intention of the day, but then releasing it was really interesting, because I feel like usually how I work with my cards is it feels more like a building on top of each other instead of a like, no, you have to let this go and then move on to the next day. So for my oracle, I used what is this one called again? Into the Lonely Woods Oracle, because I thought this one would really represent the theme of a blank slate and letting go really well, because it is a deck themed around the concept of grief. And what I really wanted to explore this week with sort of that energy of letting go in order to start over is where the idea of grief really fits into that concept, and I feel like is an integral part to that concept, in terms of grief not being exclusively for when we lose something or someone in our lives. It can happen on this daily basis. So that's what I wanted to explore, and I want to show the cards I pulled each day because I laid them all out. I've got them laid out here. Maybe I should show that, because it looks really cool. Excuse this is gonna be chaotic for a second. Okay. Look how they look laid out. I just loved how it told a story. So we started with a time for healing, moved into realizations, which how these connected, it's sort of like, in order to move into this space of making realizations, I had to let go of this time for healing, because a lot of the times when I'm taking time for healing, for me, part of that process is allowing myself to really disengage and sort of, I can't think of the correct term, but almost numb out in a way, but not in like a total avoidance. But I do think sometimes doing that is helpful, but you eventually have to move on to this space of making realizations, reconnecting with that emotion, and then we moved into the constellation of isolation, which, once I have had realizations of things I need to work on healing, I do move into this space of kind of self-isolation in order to just sort out my own thoughts, figure it out. But to do that, I have to release continually having realizations. It's like I need to focus on one and move out of this space of like adding more on top of that. Then we move into the return of the lost selves. So sort of like finding a sense of self again. Once you've kind of had this like almost like tower moment, like big realization. And the return of the lost selves does involve needing to let go of this self-isolation. And then finally we come into the fortunate companion, and it feels like this reworking of you found a lost sense of yourself, so now you can sort of restructure your life in the way of who you associate with. Like, how does that reflect the work you've done here? And I just thought that was so cool how it worked itself into a story that way. I just thought it was so neat. So those are my cards from last week, but we did also have some, on Wednesday we had another spread to do, and Friday you could do a spread around it. I didn't choose to, so for that one spread, I also used the Tarot of the Abyss, which, just for starters, visually paired with this oracle really well. I thought it was super cool, but I feel like there is, and maybe it's just because it's black and white, that to me it has a bit of a somberness to it, that I felt like it just worked with the theme of the Into the Lonely Woods really, really well. But also with this blank spaces, I did want to, at least with one deck, work with a black and white deck and really kind of examine the duality here of black and white and the different shades and things of that, and where gray area can come in. And I think this deck is really cool for doing that kind of work, so very much enjoyed it. So this week we are moving on to the blank page, which is all about writing our own stories and things we want to continue or things we want to rewrite. So I am using, and it's interesting because usually I share my decks I've used at the end of the week, but I feel like so far it's just, I have a grouping of decks to choose from, but it's been really obvious what the choices are to me. So I am using the When Olga Speaks prototype deck, and I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to fit into the theme of storytelling super, super well. And so again, we have a prompt. How can I write my current intentions into my evolving life story, where we are going to pull an oracle card each day. So I still will keep you all posted on what I pulled at the end of this week. So that is the oracle I'm using to pull from each day. And then the tarot I'm using with it is the Dungeons and Dragons tarot, because I think this one's going to be really neat with that storytelling theme, because that really is the theme of this deck, and you can also use it to play like your own Dungeons and Dragons game, which is all storytelling. So I think this is going to be really, really cool in that regard. Now the other thing I had to share with you all today is I'm doing some new kinds of journaling. So I still do have I'm still working with this big giant journal I have. This is where I've got like my monthly spreads and stuff. I showed this. I don't know, when I made this, I was not talking through it. I might do a voiceover. I might leave it as is with some music. I haven't decided. I was having a day where I just didn't feel like talking, and I really wanted to just like get this going, so I just decided I'm just gonna record it and not talk, because I'm trying to not, part of my unmasking journey is not forcing myself to do things I do not feel like wanting to do, and some days that looks like not speaking. Anyway, so I'm still working with this journal, that to say, but for right now I'm gonna use this as my monthly medicine journal and my anything I do with the animal gnosis. I think that's gonna be it, because I'm starting a new journaling style, and I have one of these are the Peter Popper press notebooks, which I have another one of. Where did it go? Oh, it's actually right here. So this is one I've been using for a bit more. I'm like halfway through this one. How pretty is this? But this is a bit more of like a sacred work type journal. But I have been watching the journaling content videos it's kind of all mixed together, but I've been watching Christina Rose's videos here on YouTube and just really admiring how beautiful her journaling is. And so I'll cover my journaling. And so I was really inspired by her to just start doing this really like more artistic style of journaling in these like beautiful notebooks she has. And these are probably my favorite notebooks from Peter Popper Press, and they're pretty reasonably priced, especially if you go on Amazon. So I decided, because I've been doing that in here, I really wanted to pull that into my daily readings and just try that out for a little bit. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm only 2 days in. It came in yesterday, so this is the week ahead reading I did, and then this is today's pull. It's just fun, and I don't know. Aesthetics is something that I really love to bring into my personal practice, so having a beautiful notebook to create beautiful journal entries is just important to me. And not to say that this here isn't beautiful. I do really like how this has looked as well, using all my stickers and washi and such, but I just wanted to try something new. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, this does look really cool too. Like, look at all these. It is fun. It's fun. I love journaling with my reading printouts and stickers and picking them out. Ooh, look at this page I did for llamas. Maybe I already showed that, but Mabon's coming up. I'm gonna have to do that. I think I would still do that in this notebook, and I'm sure eventually I might switch back to doing it more in this style. But this is gonna be fun, and I'm having fun. And isn't it just it's so beautiful, these notebooks. I'm really excited about it. And I think there's something that I'm just liking right now about having a whole page per reading. So we'll see how that goes. I'll keep you all posted, but okay, I think that is all I had to show you today. Yes, okay, so I don't know what's next. That's the beauty of these things. Hello. We've got some monthly medicine catching up to do. Yes, I am in my jammies. So I didn't update for last week, and now we are at the end of the 3rd week, so we're going to show both week 2 and 3 today. So last week we had the blank page, which was all about kind of how we write our own story. So I think I already mentioned the deck I used was the When Olga Speaks Oracle, not Taro. And so this month, like I said, we've been choosing a card per day, and then on Wednesday we do get a card spread. I'm using it as a tarot spread, and then we get a Friday reflection. And the past 2 weeks I've actually kind of just been going with pulling the oracle card and not really doing tarot. And I've really been enjoying it. So let me show sorry for the dizziness, the cards I pulled last week and how they kind of told a story. So we started with unconscious reality, forgiveness, the healing child, soul ties, and ambiguous grief. I mean, doesn't that just tell this really interesting story about, I kind of interpreted it as the things that maybe I'm holding on to from childhood that are hard to let go of, but necessary to a healing process when it comes to that. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So I really, really enjoyed using the When Olga Speaks Oracle. This is the prototype. It should be coming to Kickstarter soon. Really excited for that. But yes, this was so perfect when it came to just really, really telling a story. And I loved looking at all the different collages. This was awesome. And so this past week, our theme was the blank canvas. So this was about our creative expression, and we were pulling a card each day to represent a new color, shape, or texture to explore on your personal canvas. So for this, I had to use the Taro as color. I really was excited to see how the colors kind of fed into each other throughout the week, because I think that's my favorite way to use this deck, is to pull more than one card and examine how the colors are working together or not working together. And I haven't done too much reflecting on these pulls so far, but I do think it's interesting and I wanted to show. Dizziness again. Oh my goodness, so sorry. How cool is this? So we started the week with the sun, which is this bright burst of orangey red, and then I loved how we then moved into strength, which repeated this majority orangey red that I feel like kind of spread out from the sun, but then we get this splash of purple, like this purpley blue yellow. Then we move into the Four of Cups, where it almost felt like the blue coming in here started to consume the fieriness of that red. Oh my goodness. My camera is falling. So sorry. Probably making him all so dizzy. And then I loved how we moved from the Four of Cups to the Three of Cups. And again, we've got this majority blue, but it's seeping even more into that red. So instead of having it be sort of confined, it's now all blending together. Now what's of most interest, I feel like, is the last card I pulled completely goes its own direction, except that it mirrors this more like pinky red as the background, but the blue is completely gone and we get all of this green with the Empress. So to me it felt like going from sun, strength, Four of Cups, Three of Cups, it almost felt like a bit of like a tempering in a way, where there's all this fire going on with the sun and strength. And the Four of Cups to me coming up here felt almost like this burnout energy. The Three of Cups comes in where it's almost, it felt like, okay, take a break, regroup, spend time with the people you like to spend time with. And then we come out with something entirely new with this Empress card, which, you know, we can see as nurturing, bringing something to life. And I thought that was really, really interesting. So that is my update on my monthly medicine for the past 2 weeks. So I don't really know, I haven't looked to see what the next prompt is. Ooh, the blank screen. I'm not sure what I want to use for this. You will find out soon in this video, but I don't know yet. I'll have to see. But yes, I've got some other things I would like to do, maybe today. I haven't done my animal gnosis reading yet from the spread that Tegan gives us, so maybe I shall do that. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. things of sorts. Well, not exclusively journaling. We'll start with the first, the bigger elephant in the room here. I got a new printer, and this is one of the inkjet eco tanks. So it's got the new, it's like no cartridge or something. The ink came in these like bottles. It was very cool. So I got a new printer because the one I was using before, I got it at the thrift store for like $9, I think. It was a steal, and it worked great for, or you know, it works well for a printer and a scanner, but the one for just a regular printer, the ink, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. And it wasn't printing my pictures in great quality. They were always blurry, which isn't a huge deal, but I've been thinking about getting one of these for a while. We got one for the library, and the quality is just amazing. And there's some other DIY things I wanted to do. So finally, I got one. It's been amazing. The picture quality is so much nicer. It prints on this sticker paper so much nicer, and now I'll be able to make some things for my like Etsy packaging and stuff. That should be fun. And maybe I can make my own like business cards instead of sending away for them. So a nice tool. I got that, and then I also got some new journaling stuff from, oh goodness, the shop is Paper Haunts. The same creators who make the Mystic Misfits Oracle that I love. I'm so excited to have that back out again soon. It's the season. So I got some journaling stuff. I'm trying to like close this. One of the items. Okay, let's flip the camera around. So I got this, first of all, this little monthly desk planner. How cute. My goal with this is to be a little more organized with my video making, because I find so often I get ideas for videos, or I see a tag or something and I'm like, ooh, I want to do that. But then I don't write it down anywhere, and so then I forget. When it comes time to where I'm like, okay, I feel like making a video, I'm like, oh, what did I want to do? I don't remember. So then sometimes that leads to me just not making something. So I've got this now with my schedule. It's not going to be hard and fast. I kind of am just including things within weeks on days I usually post, but it's more of like a, okay, within this week at some point, this is what I wanted to do. So I'm excited about this. So this is one of the things I got. How cute is it? This is like, I think it's the Apothecary one. I don't know, something like that. Then I also got this sticker book, which I'm really excited about. I didn't really know things like this existed, and it's already coming in so handy. So basically, if you haven't heard of these like me, you stick your stickers in it and you can like peel them back out, so that way you can organize your stickers. So this is, I just got in a pack of Halloween stickers. We're getting ready, but I've just been keeping my stickers in this bucket and it's very unorganized and hard to find things, and also things are like getting stuck to each other. It's not good. So I saw this and I was like, ooh, I have to get that. And then of course I got some stickers from them. How cute are those? So I've been going through and sticking stickers in. So I thought this would be great too, because, you know, just like I use my decks seasonally, I decorate my journal seasonally. So now, I mean, there's plenty of pages in this, but I can kind of like curate a little sticker collection for me to use by the season. So that's been really fun. What else did I get? Oh, I also got a washi tape. Let's look at that. This is what I've been keeping my stickers in. So I'll keep my like the stickers I'm not using right now. They'll stay in there. It works fine. But this is where I keep my washi tape right now, and I got the little spooky bookshelf one. Isn't that so cute? I'm excited to use that. I did get some Halloween ones. We got these eyes. I like that one a lot. Skulls. I've really been loving doing this I mean, I've been using stickers and washi in my journal, but I feel like the way I showed that I'm journaling now, I'm really starting to use them. Look at this one. Isn't that cute with all the gravestones? Okay, I think that's... Oh, no, it came with these two as well, which I really like. So these are kind of some, looks like grimoire pages almost. Cool. And then spider webs. Neat. Neat, neat. I like those. If you are curious, for the most part, I get my stickers and washi off of Amazon because you could get really big packs for pretty inexpensive. But every once in a while, like, you know, since I was ordering these things from Paper Haunts, I love their stuff, so I got some stickers and washi from there. You know, every once in a while. I like to do that. But, yeah. I think that's all I have to share for now. I have to dig through in my altar space. There is that drawer underneath, which is kind of my drawer of doom, or, you know, like the junk drawer, where previously, before I was using stickers in any sort of purposeful way, I just kind of dump them in there. And when I was like sending things to people, I would just kind of pick some stuff out and put it in if I felt like, but I should dig through there because I feel like I've got, when I bought the Mystic Misfits, it came with a pack of stickers. Oh, also to say that they send like so many extras. It was so nice. Like I got a bookmark and a postcard and some extra die cut stickers. Very nice. But I know I've got some in there, so I should look for that. But yeah, I think that's the update for now. Hello. So I'm here today to kind of wrap up my monthly medicine recap of things I used, and hold on, gotta clear my throat. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm just getting over that cold I had, which will lead into some other favorites. But also today, speaking of that, since this lines up with the last day of the month, I will be going over my other random favorites that I didn't highlight somewhere in the month already. I don't think. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. So, apologies. But the last week of our monthly medicine, we had the blank screen, which was all about, I should have brought my paper over. Hold on. Okay, so the theme here was what lives in our dreams and is waiting to emerge. So I really saw this as kind of like, how a lot of times in movies, even TV shows, but especially movies, when you're watching it, there's always this kind of, usually there's, you know, the main character, and they have this character arc we follow based on some sort of like goal or like dream they're living out, at least in a lot of movies I watch. I don't know. So that's kind of how I pictured it. So what I wanted to use for this week was the Raven's Dream Tarot. So I actually didn't use an oracle at all. I just used this, and I loved it. Oh my gosh, this was such a great deck to use, because I kind of find I do use this one for regular tarot draws as well, but I just found that it really also was so well suited to a single card draw because there's so much going on in these images, and I liked that it had this dream theme going on. I think it just made it easier to, you know, relate this theme back to myself, if that makes any sense. By kind of experiencing these questions through this Raven's dream world, because that's how the deck works. I just really found it, I don't know, useful, kind of imagining my own story in these dreams that are depicted in the cards, and it was really, really cool. Loved using this for the last week. I am so excited about our theme next month. I won't spoil anything. You'll see in the in next month's monthly recap. But that is that for this month's monthly medicine practice. The other practice I take a part of is Tegan at Cosmic Creeper, her Animal Gnosis, and this month we had a cat. Now this was the card I had out for the month, and this month, September, September was just honestly a lot for me. It kind of tends to be, but I think even more so with just further neurodivergence discoveries about myself. You know, it's that thing where once you see it, you can't unsee it. So I think in combination with September always being kind of a weird month for me, just because it's back to school for every kid who goes to public schooling, and they're just, for some reason, you wouldn't think, because I don't work at a school, I work at a library, you wouldn't think that they would be so heavily intertwined, but they are. So it's kind of this month of wrapping up summer reading, but also the schools all have I've seen them called different things, like open houses or back to school night, basically where the kids have been there for a few weeks and they can bring their parents to meet their teacher, like see where they sit, go on like to all the different classrooms they go to. It's really fun for the kids and they love it. You know, I deal with the younger ones, so like 5th grade and under, and they love doing it. And my town that I work for has 2 different schools for that age range, so it goes K through 2 and then 3 through 5, 2 different schools. And they both are so nice and always invite me to come set up a table and, you know, hand out my calendars and information about the things we're doing in the children's room, which is so very nice. But it does lead to my schedule being really thrown off for the month of September, which is not an easy thing for me, so I found myself being very, very just overwhelmed and overstimulated a lot of the month just from needing to change around my schedule. And there's a few other reasons I had to kind of work different shifts, and I don't really do well with that. And it's okay. It's okay. I know that about myself, so I kind of know to just I made a woodwick candle, and that baby's burning. Ooh, is this I think it's fine. I'm gonna blow it out. That just seemed like they seemed really high, right? I feel like it's anyways, I know that about myself, so I know to just kind of take things a little slower and just not expect so much from myself. Otherwise, you know, I just kind of end up making it worse, really. So, where was my point in this? So usually, okay, here's where, usually I really, like, partake in all of the activities for the Animal Gnosis, because I love it. I think Tegan does such a fantastic job. I love the spreads she gives, and it's just amazing. But this month, it just didn't happen. But I really loved how this kind of month for me landed on an animal that, of course, I have quite the close contact with. So even though I didn't get to do any of the card work that comes with it, I did find that when I could handle it, I still did a lot of thought around the cat being our animal of the month, which is totally part of the practice as well. I just usually really love to engage with the card side of it, which I didn't get to do this month. But the cat being our companion for the month was really, really cool, especially landing, again, like in this month where I just found myself being really just generally overstimulated, because it just felt like it fit with that theme so well. Because when I kind of take notice of Stevie, I've noticed, especially as of late, how easily cats get overstimulated. And it looks different, I suppose, but when I think about a lot of the usual ways cats interact with the world, they are so sensitive to different sensory outputs, I don't know what the right one there is, that they get like really noticeably overstimulated. Like when Stevie, there's a loud noise, she runs and hides. When someone new comes in the house now, she like removes herself from the situation. She growls at the mailman? I don't know what that's about. That's probably unrelated to what I'm saying. But regardless, she has this real instinct to just remove herself from the situation when she feels like she needs to. And thinking about that was really helpful to me this month because, of course, you know, unlike a cat, I don't always have that option. But I can still find like small ways to do that for myself even when I can't physically just get up and go. And sometimes I can get up and go, and I've learned to do that without feeling bad this month. But even when I can't, it's like just being able to just go somewhere in my own mind to be like, okay, like, we're okay, but totally get why that threw you off. Like, just kind of validating that experience real quick within myself. Just was something that was really helpful that came out of this cat energy, and especially combined with my card I pulled for this month, which was the Venom. And this was a real interesting card to pull at the beginning because, like, I don't know, it seems scary, right? And it's all about, and it is kind of a, you know, I don't want to call it a scary card, but yeah, daunting. Daunting is a correct word, I would say. Because it really was this message of, like, just watch out for venomous things entering into your circle. And I remember pulling it at the beginning of the month, and I will show that whole journaling process. Usually I talk you through it, but when I filmed it this month, I think I already mentioned it. Well, you'll have already seen it. You'll have already seen it. But I was overstimulated, but really, like, I find so much comfort in doing anything around tarot, and especially the journaling I've been doing, that I really wanted to do that monthly spread anyway. So usually I talk you all through what I'm doing and writing down there, but this month I think I just kind of showed the process of me doing it, and probably music over it if I could figure that out right. I'm not so good at that, but I'm gonna try. I was thinking about doing a voiceover, but I don't know. I think I wanted to keep it a little bit more authentic to the experience of my month, since that's kind of my point in doing it in my favorites videos in this style. You know, along with it just being easier for me to do, it captures a little bit of the authentic, like, bringing you along with my month. So I thought if I did a voiceover, it would kind of take away from legitimizing the experience of sometimes talking is just too hard. It just feels too hard for me. And so I'm also learning to not do that when I don't want. I'm going on many tangents here. But yeah, what was my point in this? The Venom card for the month. So what I also found in conjunction with the cat that I learned from these two energies this month was really around hard boundary setting. Because since I had just all these things going on this month, it was like I really needed to push the brakes wherever I needed to and wherever I could to bring in some of that extra self-care. And just a realization of the month is that when historically not doing that for myself has created a lot of wishy-washy, people-pleasing boundaries, really. And so it was a tough month with this Venom card of realizing that, you know, my people-pleasing tendencies has kind of got me in this spot of things being expected of me that shouldn't be expected of me. So now having to do the hard thing of saying no. And that wasn't easy. But where the cat energy came in yet again was just the thought, and I think there's a lot of discourse on this on the internet about, you know, dog versus cat people. Now, I do think and this is not to say that there are, like, not legitimate reasons to dislike cats. I just finished up, Marlon and Teresa's month gone by, and she talked about her experience. She's in the, does the animal gnosis as well. And she talked about her fear around cats from being bitten. Should I be sharing this story that's not mine? Well, I guess it's in her video. It's in her video. Oh my gosh. From being bitten by a cat as a child. And that, like, to me, I was like, yes, like, that makes sense. That makes total sense. So this is not to say that there's no legitimate reason to, like, not like cats, but, there is this, like, discourse I've been seeing recently about how when people kind of just say they don't like cats and, like, are really adamant about not liking cats for no good reason, how it could kind of be seen as this, like, red flag a little bit. Because the difference between, like, dogs and cats is that cats set boundaries. They set hard boundaries with you. And that's not something, I have never had experience with that until owning Stevie, because we always had dogs growing up, and I love dogs. But I didn't really know anyone with cats, and so I didn't have that experience until I got to Stevie. And I think that is something really cool I've learned from her, is that with a cat, you really do gain their trust. You work up to them really kind of lowering the wall with you, where not all dogs, but most dogs, you know, they instantly, like, they just love people. And that's not always how cats are. I feel like I'm rambling here, but it's been really an interesting month on, like, reflecting on these two energies, and especially thinking about the things that in the 4 years I've had Stevie, just how much I really have, like, learned from her. Especially considering, you know, I got her straight out of graduating from undergrad anyway, so the ripe age of 22. And so she's really spent some very informative years with me, and so I don't know, it was really, really cool to reflect on that. So even though I didn't do the tarot pulls this month, it's almost like I feel like I got just an immense amount out of working with these two energies this month. It was really cool. Okay, I'll stop my rambling on that now. And let's get into some other favorites from the month. We will start with the non-tarot. I want to talk about the video game I've been playing that has been bringing me so much joy. I brought my Switch out just to show you. And it is... Come on, you can do it. Can I, like, tap this here? There we go. Fae Farm on the Switch. I love this game so incredibly much. So much. If you are a fan of farming sims at all, you are going to love this. If you love cozy gaming, you're going to love this. To me, this feels like a combination of... I never remember the name of that really popular game. Is my phone right here? No. Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley and Disney Dreamlight Valley. If they had a little video game baby, it would be Fae Farm. And it's, out of the three, probably my favorite so far. Stardew Valley, I shouldn't give it that bias, because that's not for me. The way time moves in that game is real anxiety inducing. And so this, I feel like, takes all the parts of Stardew Valley I think I really would have liked, and just brings in the bit more, like, peaceful pace of Disney Dreamlight Valley. Does that make sense? I don't know. But loving this game. I love it so much. It's really been fun to be back into video games with something that I've just been enjoying so intensely, because I don't think I've had that since Disney Dreamlight Valley came out, which is almost a year ago now, right? I don't know. Almost. Okay. So I know I did show this, but I wanted to give a little update on it. I got some stationery from the Etsy shop Paper Haunts, who they have an oracle that I have as well that I'm not gonna remember the name of right now. Mystic Misfits, just kidding, got it! And I got one of their little desk calendars, and this has been a game changer, because I know I'm talking all about how like this month is overstimulating, overwhelming, but like who's been keeping up with the content just for Joy's purpose? This gal with a calendar. It's just been so awesome to have this write out on my extra desk I have here, and I just write out videos I want to do. The day they're on doesn't really matter. I know I want to do it within the week. The day it's on doesn't matter. I can't really stick to a schedule that intensely, but it's nice to just like have somewhere to write down my ideas and give them some sort of organization, at least by the week. And I do tend to actually stick to the days, but I don't need to. That's not my purpose in it. So yeah, that's been super awesome this month. What I do is I write out the idea, and if I film it and post it, I usually film and then post right away, or at least schedule it. So if I film it and post or schedule it, I just highlight it to know that that video is done. And so I've already got October going a little bit. I'm really excited about this. I love it. I love the other things I got as well. The sticker book has been so fun, but I'm gonna show that as part of my new way of journaling. I have gotten so into the art journaling this month, all because of Christine Rose here on YouTube, TaroTube. She posts a lot about like tarot and journaling, and she just inspired me so much. Not even, like, I've watched so many of her videos at this point, but to even get started, it was one video, and I was like, yep, sign me up. That's tickling the little dopamine receptors in my brain. But I have just been, I'm trying to see, I'm just gonna show, you know, I'll just show it at distance. If you read it, you read it. Whatever. So I have been taking pictures of my cards and printing them out, getting my stickers and my washi outs, stamps. Oh, like, it's just been so fun. And I've just been really kind of slowly adding to my stationery collection as I just feel like I don't know if missing things is the right term, but like now that we're getting into spooky season, I got some Halloween washi, some Halloween stickers. This was my spread from Mabon. You also have watched this already. I'm just having the best time. I have this moon journaling kit from Running Press that came with these moon stamps. So I put a little moon phase at the top of all of my daily readings. And that's mostly what I use this for right now. So this was my first month doing this. So pretty much once I did that my monthly spread in my other journal, I kind of switched to this discovered and switched to this method pretty soon after. So I do think I am going to start doing my monthly spreads in this journal, and I've got, this is one of the Peter Popper press notebooks. Highly recommend. I do not get any fountain pen ink bleed through. There is slight bleed through with my stamps, but I kind of expect that with really any notebook unless it's that really thick watercolor paper, so I'm not bothered by that. But I'm loving this. I love these notebooks. I have another one that I don't really know what my original purpose in getting that notebook was, but now I only used the first few pages, so I'm now using that one as my monthly medicine notebook, which has been so fun as well. So love these notebooks. Highly recommend. Okay. Last but not least, I have a book. Enchanted Foraging, Wild Crafting for Herbal Remedies, Rituals, and Magical Life by Ebony George. This is a book that just came out this month, also from Running Press, and I have just been enjoying it so much. There is so much good information here about foraging for, especially, you know, as a beginner, which I am. I have not really tried much foraging yet, but what I really like about this book is that it breaks it up by season. So we start with autumn, and there's a few chapters for autumn, a few chapters for winter, spring, summer, and that's how it's broken up. It's been really, really cool. But the main thing I really did with this book this month was use the recipe for the fire cider. So when I came down with this cold I had last weekend now, I immediately made the fire cider in this book, or at least like close to the recipe, because I didn't have everything I needed, so, but I had most things. I made do, and it worked out perfectly, and pretty much, excuse me, was, how do I say this in a different way? It's recommended you take a spoon, like spoonfuls, tablespoons when you need it, but it seemed more efficient to me to put it in these little tiny shot glasses I have, so I was just taking little shots of fire cider, and it was effective. And don't get me wrong, I am a modern medicine girly through and through. Like, yes, give me that cold medicine, except that as of the last few years, things like Dayquil and NyQuil just, they don't sit with me right. They usually tend to make me feel nauseous, if not come back up. Sorry for that visual. So I was like, all right, you know what? It's worth a shot. I've heard so much about it. People seem to love fire cider, and oh my gosh, to tell you, I don't think I have ever consumed anything for a cold that has just so instantaneously made me feel better. It doesn't taste good. It does not taste good, at least to me, which was also another reason why the shot glass method was effective. But it was like if I didn't take it one morning and one at night, I knew it, because I just did not feel good, where as soon as I had some of the cider, I felt so much better, so much better. So highly recommend. I loved the recipe in this book. So good. All right, what you all have been waiting so very patiently for is my other decks I used this month and really enjoyed using. So let's get this one out of the way, shall we? Seasons of the Witch Mabon. I know. We were all using it this month because Mabon happened this month. But I will never stop singing the praises of this deck. I'm not putting it away. I'm using the Samhain one officially now, but I find myself so often specifically going into this deck for one of the cards. Like last night / today, we had the Harvest full moon. So I went in and wanted to pull that card, or I just went through the Scarecrow card, and I'm currently working on the Scarecrow for the town's Scarecrow competition, so like the library's entry. So I pulled out the Scarecrow card the other day to be like, all right, let's just see what this card has to say about the thing I'm crafting right now, and I love it so much. It's so good. Yes. Big yes from me. Next up is the deck that Andy and I worked with together for a majority of the month, I would say, and that is the Deviant Moon Tarot. And we worked with it alongside the big guidebook. And let me tell you, if you're a fan of this deck, or have this deck and aren't making the connection with it, get the book. Get the book for sure. Ooh, I'm gonna cough. You know when you just take in air weird? You know when you just breathe wrong? Anyway, both of us said that by the end of our time with this deck, which was just this week, now we're moving on to what we're calling October Spooky Season Free-for-All, and I can't wait. But we just felt so connected to this deck. It really just, it brings so much to these images to read Patrick Valenza's vision behind each of these images. And it really, because usually when we are working through a deck together, because like usually it's that we mutually have it and want to be spending time with it, or like really kind of deep dive it, so it's a body doubling thing. We find that we just get a lot out of it and start recognizing the cards, but I don't know what it was about this deck and the entries that we were getting a lot of repeat cards, and it just, like, I remembered everything that that book said because it just was so memorable. I gotta pause and cough again. Okay. What was I saying? The big guidebook entries were just so incredibly memorable that I was finding that when I was, like, I pulled a repeat card, it was like, I don't even need to really go back into the book again because I remember this character, I remember what they were up to, and it just, it's given me such a bigger appreciation for this deck, and I'm just so excited about it. This is definitely one that's, of course, going to continue to be out pretty much for the whole darker half of the year, and that's a Deviant Moon. I desperately need to make or get a bag for this one, because this box is just, she's falling apart at the seams, I tell ya. Alright. I think I've got two more to show you here. So next up, it's the Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon Oracle. I don't even think I've shown this one in a recent, like my recent deck acquisitions, so I usually try to not do that, but I've been using this one that much that I was like, nope, I gotta include it in September because I'm really, really enjoying this Oracle. There's something about the artwork which is funny, because I didn't get this one for a bit because I didn't think I liked the artwork, but I do. And there's something about it being on this like slightly larger than tarot size that I just think is so magical. And the rest of this deck is so magical, and I just love the simple keywords going on here. The kind of celestial witchy vibe, because I think a lot of my witchy decks lean either very like pagan, Wiccan, or that spooky kind of witch, and this has this whole different vibe to it that I'm loving it right now. It's like a this term I don't think is a thing, but what popped in my head was like softcore witch. I don't know. I think my brain is still going wonky from from the illness. So that is the Earthly Souls and Spirits Oracle, and last but not least, the Beloved Dead Oracle. Oh my gosh, I will just never shut up about this because it's so good. I just am loving this deck so much. It's an ancestor work deck, and I just think it's so versatile because I use it when I am specifically trying to connect with ancestors, but I also use it just as a daily pull. But every single time, it really feels to me like I am making this ancestral connection, and I just think, I don't know, there's some kind of magic in this deck, and I love it so much. I love the images. I know I'm gonna be using this all fall and winter long. I'm obsessed with it. The book is so good. Can't recommend enough. I will have links to everything down below, of course. So good. So good. So that, my friends... Oh no! It's not the last deck I have to show you. Where's my Lilac Lenormand? Hold on, I gotta show the Lenormand I've been using all month. There it is. It's up here. Usually it is, in my work bag because I like doing my Lenormand readings at work. But, I was using it at home the other day, so here she is. This is a Lilac Lenormand. I'm pretty sure you can still back it on Kickstarter if you are watching this within a few days. By Logan at Larkin Legend. And I will put a link down to that Kickstarter below, but this, Logan is so magical. Everything they do is a masterpiece. I have a whole walkthrough of this deck as well that went up this month. But I've been loving it. I've been using it all month long. It pairs super well too. I love the combo of these. It's just such a good and fun deck. I think the images are so fun, but also the guidebook is really, really helpful for someone like me who doesn't know Lenormand super well. I'm getting much more comfortable with it, but I still like a good guidebook, and Logan definitely always hits the nail on the head with that. So highly recommend checking that out on Kickstarter. It's also just like a lovely cardstock. You can shuffle this like a dream. I love it. I love it so much. So that is officially the last deck I have to show you from this month, and I think that's all I got. So let me know what your favorites were from the month. I hope you all had a great September. I am so looking forward to October, like I'm sure everyone else is. And I'll talk to you again soon.